Hello, language learners. One of the things that I help my clients to accomplish is bridging the gap between being a newbie language learner and an experienced language learner. And that doesn't just mean, learning to finally understand their language and learning how to finally achieve the results they're looking for in their language. That also includes like a giant mindset shift. And so in this video, I want to talk about the difference between a new language learner and an experienced language learner, what that looks like, so you can better understand, if you are a new language learner, what it is that you're trying to actually get to, and not just to a vague, oh, I know Spanish, oh, I know French, I know whatever language it is that I'm trying to accomplish. There's a giant difference between people who are just stuck in a cycle of always being a new language learner and those who actually achieve their goals. I'm going to talk about 4 main differences that I see between newbie language learners and experienced language learners. The first major difference is the response to language learning resources. There are so many resources out there, and how you respond to the ones that you come across will really significantly dictate how successful you are in achieving your goals. So, for example, a new language learner, when they come across a new resource, they will do one of 2 things. The first thing that they might do is they might try the resource, not get fluent in the language or not achieve their goals, get frustrated and quit and get upset that that resource didn't help them achieve their goals. You'll see this a lot when you go through reviews of different language learning resources, and you'll see reviews of people saying, oh man, I tried so many language learning resources and this app is a real deal. This website is finally what helped me get the goals that I want to accomplish. That's what that's coming from. People see language learning resources, they try them, and after a while, when they don't accomplish their goals, they get upset and they get frustrated and they give up. Or the second thing that happens, the second thing that I see a lot, is that people will be, newbie language learners will be going along their way and they'll be using language learning resources and being fairly consistent, but then they'll come across a new app, or they'll come across a new book, or somebody will recommend this and say, this is the best method that I found to learn a language, or this is how I learned the language, or this is the most efficient way to learn a language. And newbie language learners will drop everything they're doing, download the app, buy the book, buy the product, whatever it is, and they will try this new strategy. They will get distracted and they will be convinced that this is what they really need. This is the holy grail of language learning resources, and what I was using before wasn't good enough because this one is the best. And so they find themselves in a cycle where they're constantly trying new resources and they're always unhappy with them. And then they're also always unhappy with themselves because nothing works. Well, these apps work for everybody else, so what's wrong with me? And it becomes like a whole internal thing, and it's just a mess. As opposed to more experienced language learners, that is a whole different ballgame. Experienced language learners, they're familiar with what they like. They're familiar with what works for them, what will actually help them reach their goals. They are familiar with what they like, what they don't like, what resources just don't work for them, which resources they do like. They know what to look for, and not just that surface level, this is the best language app. They know if they like notifications, if they like reading, if they like speech recognition, if they like audiobooks, all sorts of things. They have a general idea of what they like. This doesn't mean that experienced language learners they are susceptible to FOMO. They don't see, they still, when they come across new language apps or books, if it's really interesting to them, they might get really excited and then get some FOMO, get some fear of missing out. But not only does that happen less because they are more focused on what they enjoy, but they can manage it better. I mean, for example, every once in a while I get excited by new language apps or things that I already know about, but where I am in my language learning has shifted, and so I'm looking for a different kind of resource. And so I sometimes get that kind of FOMO, but I also know how to recognize that it's FOMO and how to let myself let go of that, basically, and not waste my time, not waste my energy, not waste my money by trying a new resource, using a new resource that I don't actually necessarily need to use. The second difference is inconsistency. Now, a new language learner is inconsistent, and that inconsistency happens because of one of 2 reasons. The first reason that a new language learner might give up completely is because they hit an obstacle. They threw themselves into a situation too early, or there's a concept that's too difficult, or they can't find the resource that they're looking for, any number of things. They hit an obstacle in their language, they can't figure out how to get past it, or just it bruises their ego, and so they give up. Or a newbie language learner will also give up completely when something else happens in their life. You know, if they get sick, family members get sick, they have a hobby that comes up and takes up a lot of their time, they have a job change, work gets too busy, other things that don't have anything to do specifically with language learning, but other things that affect their lifestyle and shift how they respond and how they interact with their language. When these things come up, a newbie language learner will just give up and give all of their attention to whatever else in their life is requiring more of their attention, as opposed to a more experienced language learner. For the first thing, with the language learning obstacles, experienced language learners know to expect these obstacles and know the best way for them individually to respond to them and how to get over that hump and how to accomplish whatever struggle they're experiencing. They know how to get past it and move on. They know how to take a step back, recognize what's happening, and move past it. They're also better at seeing obstacles as not a personal affront and not something that they're doing wrong, but as new information and new data, and recognizing, okay, this is something that I'm struggling with, so how do I best approach this thing that I'm struggling with and learn how to, improve this particular thing so I can move forward. They see it as data, not personal. And when something else happens in their life, because something else will always happen in your life, an experienced language learner will know how to be strategic and flexible in their language learning routine. They'll know how to shift their language learning routine to respond to that. If they don't have the time or the energy as they used to contribute to their language learning and to push it forward with a new lifestyle or like a different, amount of time or routine, they know how to shift it and be flexible and be responsive, but also still being consistent even if something changed. Number 3, the third difference between a newbie language learner and an experienced language learner is in the response to things that people find online, the best language learning strategy, this new language learning app, how this other random person on the internet learned a language. A big difference is the response to those pieces of content. A newbie language learner will take a paper and a pencil and watch a video and write down exactly how this other language learner learned a language, take that strategy, apply it to their lives, think this is the best, most efficient, most exciting way to learn a language, and this is what I'll do. And when it doesn't work for them, they'll get upset, they'll get frustrated, they'll give up on that. They will look to another video, another article saying this is the best strategy, and then they'll try that, get frustrated, and they'll just be in this cycle of trying all these different strategies that don't work for them, get frustrated, move on to the next one, and then again, they will take that as saying something about them as a person, as, I don't have the language ability, or I'm not smart enough, or any number of things. They will take it to mean something bad about them, an inability that they have, that they cannot use these same strategies that work for other people. They'll find themselves in a cycle where just nothing works, everything is helpless, and then eventually they'll just give up. An experienced language learner, on the other hand, will take a completely different approach. They might watch these videos, they might not watch these videos, but if they do watch these videos, they do it for different reasons. They do it, with a fine-toothed comb. They'll do it to find out about other language learners' experiences. They'll do it to learn about new strategies that they're not familiar with. They'll do it to learn about new resources that they're not familiar with. If they have a problem that they're currently experiencing with their language learning, there's a strategy that they're struggling with. If, they're using an app and it's not great because of a certain reason, they might, watch other videos to learn about other apps that might solve that problem. Basically, they will use this content to help, either finalize or make their strategy a little bit better, or to learn about other experiences. But they won't take this information and just try to consume it and spit it back out as their own. And the fourth, final, and maybe biggest difference between new and experienced language learners is how they see language learning as a whole. Newbie language learners will take language learning and they will see it as like a magic pill. They will approach every language app, every book, every resource, and see it as a magic pill that all they have to do is use this resource, and all of a sudden they will magically become more fluent and more able to have conversations or whatever their goals are. They think that all they have to do is find the right app, the best app, and use that to magically learn the language, because that's what everybody else does, right? They, use this one app and it magically gave them the experience and knowledge they needed. They take this app and they go through the app and all of a sudden, bam, they're done. And then when that doesn't work, again, they get frustrated, and again, there's that cycle. Experienced language learners, on the other hand, have a more realistic idea of what the journey of learning a language is. They recognize that it's a complex thing, that there are so many strategies, so many resources, so many results, so many different things that go into language learning, that it is not one size fits all. Nothing about it is one size fits all. It's much more complex than that. Experienced language learners understand that different results look different, and they understand that fluent isn't just like a bar to hit, that all of a sudden they'll feel amazing and have the confidence to go to a different country and live in the country and everything will be swell. They recognize that that's not what it is at all, that different people have different definitions of fluent and all these different things. It's very fuzzy and gray, and there's nothing precise about it. They also realize that there are so many different goals that you can have for learning a language, that not everybody, wants to achieve B1 fluency, or some people just want to be able to read a book, and there's all these different results that you can accomplish, and there's all these different ways to accomplish them, and it's so multifaceted that you just got to find out what works for you. In a nutshell, they understand that it's a journey, not a destination. That is all I have for this video. In the comment section below, let me know, what's the difference to you between a beginner and an experienced language learner? Or which one are you? Are you a beginner language learner and you didn't really understand these concepts? Let me know if this was helpful for you. Otherwise, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video every Wednesday and Sunday. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.